Chapter 5. Data Collection and Techniques. Data collection and technique. These methods for gathering data are most commonly used in survey research. They are data collection techniques or instruments, and they can be used with more than one methodology. Their purpose is to collect data for educational research and to assess or evaluate performance ability knowledge. The questionnaire. Free questionnaire planning. The process will be given here in brief outline from as a way of reviewing the major step and emphasizing decision that's hold be made planning that should go into the early development of a research study. Advantages of questionnaires. When it comes to the benefits of questionnaires in research, these positive are wide-nagging, particularly with online questionnaires. Disadvantages of questionnaires. While it's great to focus on the benefits when exploring the pros and cons of questionnaires in the research, it's also prudent to the answer of any disadvantages. Constructing the questionnaire. Construction of the questionnaire is essential to its success. The researcher must consider the information needs and the characteristics of the participants. Types of question according to information needed. Factual question, opinion and attitude. Information question, self-perception. Standards of action question, question about actual past or present behavior. Projective question. Type of question according to form. The form of the question in turn determines the method or response. The researcher must describe which format will be the easiest for the respondent while still producing genuine and uniform answer. There are two basic types of question: open-ended questions, fixed response, or a structured question. Open-ended questions. Open-ended or unstructured question, as the name indicates, are designed to permit free response from participants rather than ones limited to specific alternatives. Fixed response or a structured question, also known as closed question, limit the responses of the participant to stated alternative. The possible response may range from a simple yes or no to a checklist of possible replies to a scale indicating various degrees of a particular response. Scaled response. A variety of questions utilize scales of one type or another in order to obtain response. Example: an itemized rating or a specific category, a graphic rating scale, a rank order, or a comparative rating scale. Question content and selection. To be employed in yes of the information needed and the form of response designed, the research must next decided what specific question to ask and consider their content response to essentially the same question. Question wording. It appears that the variation in wording significantly affected the response to essential the same question. Sequencing of questionnaire. Even the sequencing of questions can influence how they are answered. Change in question order can produce a context error, resulting in substantial differences in response to the same question. Sources of error. Before continuing with the outline of the procedure for developing, it may be worthwhile to consider some types of questionnaires error. Consider the following: researcher bias, sponsorship bias, imperfection of design, respondent interpretation, time lapse, circumstances, response bias, reactive insight. Preparing the first draft. The researcher must decide on the sequence of questions that best serve a purpose. In some cases, this might result in the most logical arrangement in preparing the first draft of the question to determine the reliability of certain question. Evaluating the questionnaire. Once the first draft of the questionnaire has been completed and before it is actually pretested, it is a good idea to get once of the questionnaire. The pretest. A pretest gives the research an opportunity to identify questionnaire items that tend to be misunderstood by the participants do not obtain the information. Final editing. The organization will benefit from the employment of an outline format in lettering and numbering section. Question. Cover letter. Should accompany the basic purpose of the cover letter is to explain briefly the purpose of the study and to stress the importance of each person responding.